Whether you are experienced behind the wheel in Europe or it's your first time driving outside the United States, odds are you will encounter many challenging and potentially uncomfortable driving situations. Understanding the unique European driving laws, hazards, and driver behaviors is critical to ensuring you have a safe and enjoyable experience. Mental preparedness and defensive driving are key. The vast majority of European drivers take driving very seriously and expect other drivers to be alert. This means you must remain aware of the vehicles around you, even those approaching from the rear. Zoning out is a no-go. There are hazards around every corner, and you're never more than a split second from an accident. Perhaps the most well-known and exciting part of traveling in Europe is driving on the extensive network of motorways connecting city to city and country to country. While each country has a different name for the roadways and slightly different rules and regulations, some things remain true everywhere. Speeds can exceed an American driver's comfort zone, and European drivers will often pull into your safety buffer, coming uncomfortably close at very high speeds. You should maintain the distances we've grown accustomed to for your safety and others. Changing lanes presents its own hazard here. Generally speaking, the right lane is reserved for cruising and the left lanes are for passing. Staying in the left lane without passing other vehicles is dangerous and illegal in some places. If another vehicle approaches quickly from the rear or flashes their lights, it's a sign that you should move over to the right. Many of these motorways are also in a constant state of construction and repair. This can be dangerous, especially when semi-trucks are squeezed into increasingly narrow lanes. It also creates the likelihood of a traffic jam, a near constant on major roadways at certain times of the day or year. German law, in particular, requires motorists to create a safety lane for emergency vehicles if necessary during a traffic jam. Most European cities have a speed limit of 50 kilometers an hour that takes effect as soon as you enter city limits. This can slow in some places to 30 kilometers an hour in commercial and residential districts and is often enforced by traffic cameras. Roads may have different speed limits from country to country. Roads and parking spaces are likely smaller than those you are accustomed to, and you may even need to pull over at times when roads are only wide enough for one-way traffic, especially in rural areas. Know the laws in the country where you are traveling for your own safety and to avoid hefty fines. Some potential hazards in towns and cities include traffic rotaries, planters, and pedestrians. Traffic rotaries can extend to 6 or more lanes in some larger cities and be a chaotic nightmare if you're not careful. The basic rules here are simple. Vehicles in the rotary have the right-of-way. Those wishing to enter must yield to those already in place. In larger rotaries, those intending to leave the rotary at the nearest exit should stick to the far right lanes. While driving through some neighborhoods, you will notice planters, curbs, and obstacles in the middle of the road. These are intended to slow traffic and may even limit passage to vehicles coming a single direction at a time and require you to yield to a vehicle coming the other way. Exercise caution here and slow down. Bicyclists are common on European roadways, and pedestrians may enter your lane without much warning. Both expect you to see them and obey traffic laws in right-of-way situations. The slightest distraction from your phone or grabbing a bite to eat can be deadly in these situations. Pedestrians and bicyclists are most common as kids are going to school or coming home for the day. Priority roads are marked by a yellow square, either on a sign or painted on the pavement. These roads have rules like those in America. Drivers wishing to enter these roads must yield to vehicles already on them. On roads that are not designated as priority roads, the yield right principle applies. This means you must yield to traffic coming from your right, which can require carefully scanning the right-hand side of the road so you don't miss oncoming traffic and cause a collision. While you hopefully won't need it, all vehicles must carry approved first aid kits, warning triangles, and reflective vests. If a vehicle breaks down, you must move it onto the shoulder or as far from traffic as possible. Wear your reflective vest outside the vehicle and place your warning triangles far enough away from the vehicle to warn oncoming traffic. In the case of an accident, never leave the scene and turn on your warning flashers and place warning triangles appropriately. When in doubt, contact the police. Exchange information with all involved parties and cooperate with law enforcement. Driving in Europe can be fun and challenging. Maintaining awareness and discipline is key. Never mentally check out and remain alert to ensure you and your loved ones survive to drive another day. Readiness through safety.